Hello everyone, my name is Seth, and today I'm going to give you my review of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I was so excited for this. It was on my most anticipated of the rest of the year list, and I just couldn't wait to get into the theater to see this. I really love the first one, so I was just so excited for this one. But before I go any farther, go ahead and like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can receive notifications when I upload my next video. Yeah, so just to get right into it, I really like this movie. It was so much fun. It was just basically just about everything I wanted in a Spider-Verse sequel. They take these characters in new directions. They kind of take everything up a whole new notch. It's just raising the game every single time. I don't know if I like this more than the first one or not, but that's still very high praise because I love the first one. It was so much fun. Such a good start. And like I said, they build on everything here. Just take it up to the next level. And the first thing I have to talk about in this review is the animation. The animation is absolutely stunning. Like, it really is like a comic book come to life. And there's so many different styles here. It is just done so incredibly well. I think all of the animators, everybody who worked on this movie, should be incredibly proud of what they were able to make here. I mean, this was so incredibly ambitious. It might be the most ambitious animated film just in all of the design and all of the different characters that they've made. It's just incredible. This is one of those films where you can just about pause it at any point in time, and there you go. There's your new computer background. Like, this was just such a beautiful movie. And I absolutely loved some of the shots where they did super wide. And, like the characters are only like this big on the screen. Like, it was just so beautiful. And I absolutely loved Gwen's world. It was this kind of watercolor style, and everything that they did was so unique. All of the characters were so unique. All of the different worlds that you saw, they were just so unique. They had their own style. And again, the degree of difficulty of the animation in this is extremely high, and they absolutely nailed it. There was so much going on in this movie that, you would think would be easy to get lost, but I never did. All of the continuity was there. I never got lost. Everything was completely legible, even though there was so much going on. Like, I knew and I could see and understand exactly what was going on. And that, again, is just another testament to how good this film is, both from like direction and animation. Just it was really firing on all cylinders. Another one of my favorite things with the animation is that they really seem to treat these characters almost like they were live action. There was a lot of like little tiny details, and that's a huge part of this whole movie, is the tiny little details. But especially here with the characters, you got tiny little like facial animations, and maybe like characters would like shift their weight on their feet while they're standing, and you just really got so much emotion out of these characters. And there was a lot of, like non-verbal responses to some of these things like you would see in like a live action movie. And it's just, again, attention to detail on all fronts is just, it's out of this world. Like, I cannot say enough good things about it. They did so much storytelling with the colors, with just the shading and all of the little details that they threw in with the world and with the characters. It was just really top notch, incredibly well done. I can't say that enough. Action in this, You would expect action in a Spider-Man movie. The action in this is absolutely incredible. Like I said before, not just with kind of the story and the animation and everything, but with the action. Like at some parts, there's so much going on. But again, you absolutely know what is happening. You never get lost. And that is just really, really good filmmaking. With the different characters, they all kind of had not only just like their own kind of animation, but their own kind of fighting style and things like that. And that really helped you distinguish them in these big action set pieces. And that just really works. And speaking of the characters, let's move on to talking about some of the characters. To me, really the two big standouts, as you might would expect, are Miles and Gwen. They both are so well developed and they're so well performed. Shamik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, they both do an amazing job. They add so much heart and soul to these characters, and it's just really fun to watch. They are able to bring the comedy when that is needed. They're able to bring the drama when that is needed, and that is done so well. Jake Johnson is great as Peter B. Parker. Again, I love seeing Mayday. There was a few really fun jokes with that, and I just wish we saw more from him. I loved him in the Spider-Verse, and he plays a really great role here. I love what they do with this character, and I love his and Miles's relationship, kind of the mentor-mentee relationship. Like, they just work so well together as two characters, and I just wish there was a little bit more of them in this one. Hobie Brown, Spider-Punk, played by Daniel Kaluuya, was really, really cool. Like, he has such a unique look in the comics anyway, but he has so much character in this, not only just personality-wise, but in terms of animation. Like, he really is animated like a punk rock poster, and it's just really, really cool. Daniel Kaluuya did such a good job in this role, and I'm excited to see more from him potentially. And I really enjoyed the Previcher Perfarker, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, and that whole kind of sequence there. You see it a little bit in the trailer. I think that was just a really cool sequence. I love how the city kind of kept going down and down. I just really love how they animated just that whole section, the city, the character there. That was just a really good set piece, not only for some character arcs with Miles and with Gwen, but it also helped really push the story along. Oscar Isaac as Miguel O'Hara was really good. I love Oscar Isaac. I love him in everything. Like, he's really good in everything. I really haven't seen a bad performance from him ever. And so he always just like raises my excitement level for anything. And he was really good in this. And I think Miguel O'Hara was a really good antagonist in this. He's not a villain, but he is like an antagonist to Miles. And it's really interesting to get to hear some of his backstory. And I think they did a really good job with this character. It could have been easy to kind of turn him into a villain, but they didn't. And I really like this. And again, I'm excited to see more from him in the future. And honestly, I was surprised by the Spot. When they first said that the Spot is going to be kind of the big bad between these two movies, Across the Spider-Verse and then Beyond the Spider-Verse coming out, well, even March. At first, I was really kind of wondering, I'm like, how are they going to make him the big bad of kind of Across the Spider-Verse and Beyond the Spider-Verse? I'm like, I don't know. And then even when I got into the movie, like when we see him at the beginning, I was still like, I don't know. We'll see. But throughout this movie, they really make him intimidating. And I got to give props to Jason Schwartzman. He did a really good job bringing some heart and emotion, and really at some points being intimidating. They developed this character from beginning to end of this movie so incredibly well, and I'm super excited to see how they carry on his story in the next movie. And I absolutely love the animation that they did for the Spot. At some points, it gave me chills. Like, it is chilling. At first, you know, it can be kind of goofy, but they really make him an intimidating and chilling villain, not just with how he was written, but also with how he's animated. The story as a whole, I think, was handled really well, and they explained the multiverse really well. It was really interesting because they used different words for extremely similar concepts that we might would see in something like What If, and just the way that they explained the multiverse, and then kind of in particular the Spider-Verse, it was just really well done. I think the character motivations were really, really well defined. They were simple. Like, you understand where they're coming from, and it's not like this whole big drawn out kind of thing. Like, it's simple. You can kind of explain these different characters' thoughts and feelings in a couple sentences. But of course, there's so much to like dig deep into and so much to explore. And then the character arcs that they had in this movie, and just the development and the motivations, everything worked and it made sense. And when you're talking about a multiverse story, kind of like what I mentioned in Everything Everywhere All at Once, you have a chance for a story involving the multiverse to become really convoluted if you're not grounded with your characters. And they do that here, and I appreciate that so much. Like I said earlier, they have just such a great set of characters here, and they have such a great grasp on them, especially with Miles and Gwen. I mean, like I said, these two are the standouts. These are the star characters. Miles is awesome. He's just a really good and well-written protagonist, and I love his relationship with his family. It's just really real, if that makes sense. You know, I can almost kind of see a little bit of my younger self in Miles. You know, he's kind of wanting to spread his wings, and maybe his parents are a little bit overprotective, but that it's just that they love him so much, and you know, he loves his parents, and it's just really well written character. I love his parents. Those two are really well written, and it's just that whole family dynamic is really well done, and that kind of how that develops over the course of this movie is just it's awesome. Now, I will have to say a couple of negatives, and you might have seen some articles on it, but with the articles, with my experience, with a couple of other my friends' experiences, I gotta say it's a movie fault, not necessarily just a theater fault. And that's the audio at the beginning is not great. I don't know what happened there really, but the dialogue is so hard to hear. The mix is off. I don't know exactly what happened there, but something happened. The mix is off. And just with all of the other experiences, I got to say, like, that, I guess it's not a theater thing. It's something with the movie. And so, again, that's a negative. It really did take me out of the movie right there at the beginning. And that's not what you want to do. You want to pull me into your world right away. And that audio issue, it kind of kept me from getting fully immersed right from the beginning. And it took me a little bit longer to get into it than I would have liked. Now, this next part I'm going to mention, it's not really a spoiler. I'm going to stay as spoiler-free as possible, like I have throughout the whole review. But I am going to very vaguely discuss the end. And that just has to do with the overall story. And so it is one of my negatives, so I do want to bring it up. So just be aware. But I kind of do feel like the overall story and how it ends might be a little bit dissatisfying, I guess, because of it being a part one of a part two. You still kind of have a full arc, but I don't feel like it accomplishes that as good as, say, something like Infinity War. I feel like Infinity War, you had a very definitive end and you could have stopped there. and that's a whole complete movie. It stands alone. I don't necessarily know how well this story stands alone, if that makes sense. Obviously, we got a part two coming, and I bet part two will end up making me enjoy part one even that much more. All of this to say, like, I really do still enjoy this movie, and I think the story as a whole is good. It's just the ending kind of coupled with the whole, I don't know if it stands on its own 100%, if that makes sense. But overall, I really love this movie. Don't let that dissuade you from going to see it. It's just one of the negatives for me. I feel like maybe it could stand on its own a little bit more. But like I said, I love this movie. It's so much fun. It's really great characters, really great emotion, amazing animation. Like, seriously, you have to go see this movie. It is so good. I mean, you're going to enjoy yourself. You're going to have so much fun. And that's the biggest recommendation I can give for a movie. Go see it in the theater. There's no spoiler section for me on this one. If there was, I would probably be here forever. So, like I said, just go see the movie. Go have a good time. I think you'll really enjoy it. So that's it for me. That's my review of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can receive notifications when I upload my next video. Let me know in the comment section down below, what did you think about Across the Spider-Verse? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was your favorite part about it? What are you looking forward to most in Beyond the Spider-Verse? Go ahead and let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.